you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Madeline, or Warm as Wool, and I'm so excited to just dive right into our February festivities. It is February 1st, and this is the only red I have in my closet, which is a little bit concerning. So obviously we need to create our own pattern and try and find a cute little headband to pair this with. So whether you're going to be going out with your special someone, whether you're going out with your friends, whether you're staying inside and giving all that love to yourself, I think this headband would pair perfectly with whatever festivity you're doing. So if we want to just grab our yarn and get straight into our tutorial, let's jump right in. We're going to start by grabbing a white yarn and a red yarn. I'm using this from Hobby Lobby as well as this one from Michaels. Both of them are 5.5 width yarn. And then you're going to need your darning needle or your darning scissors, as well as a 5.5mm crochet hook. And we're going to begin by doing a slip knot. If you haven't done one before, let me know and I will post a little short for you, but I demonstrate how to do it here in the video. We're going to go ahead and start by chaining 15. We're going to end up with 16 total chained, but that's going to be one of our little invisible chains that we do. There we go. And like I said, we're going to chain one more, and then we're going to turn our work and go directly into that next stitch. And we're going to do the same 15 single crochets all the way across. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. I hate going into my single crochets because it's always the hardest stitch to go through. And as we go on our last 15 stitch there, we're going to chain one more, tighten the little string if you want a little bit more uniform in your foundation chain. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to do a single crochet all the way across, all 15 stitches. And then we're going to just keep repeating this where we chain 15 and turn our work all the way until we have 4 rows. So I'll meet you back there. Now that these 4 rows are complete, we're actually ready to do our heart row. We're going to start by single crocheting 3 in the color white. And our plan for this row is to do 3 across in red, 3 across in white, and then 3 more in red and 3 more in white. So after we chain our 3 in white, we're going to connect our red just by looping over and pulling the white yarn to tighten it. So now we have a little loop. And we're going to go ahead and just single crochet in the red just as if it was the white. And that's 3. And we are actually not going to cut anything. We're just going to grab that white string from behind and pull it over just like how we did the initial color change, and pull that right through the loop. Tighten the red string to make sure it's nice and secure, and go ahead and do 3 more crochets in white. That's 2, and that's 3. Again, we're going to change our color. Just drop the yarn and pull your red across to the next. Again, pull that through and tighten your white so that it's nice and secure. And we're going to do 3 more in the color red. 1, 2, and 3. And now the last time we are just going to do the same, pull through with white, tighten the red, and let's finish this off by chaining in white 3 more times. As you approach the end, just be sure to chain 1 once you complete the row. And we're going to turn our work to the wrong side, and we are going to start our next row in the heart. So we are going to do 2 single crochets in white, and then we're going to switch to our red color in the same way. So we pull that over, and we are going to go into that first white stitch. That one's kind of hard to get into. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to go ahead and draw our white yarn over and pick that one up just like we changed colors in previous rows. Once we switch our color, we're going to do a single crochet, just one, right in the center there. Now we're going to switch back to our red color, and we're going to do the same 5 single crochets into the next 5 stitches. And that is number 5. You're going to start seeing the top of the heart come into shape here. You should have 2 little humps. But we're going to go ahead and finish the row off by just cinching up our white a little bit and drawing that over and changing our color. And we're just going to do 2 single crochets into the last 2 stitches. Make sure to chain 1 more and go ahead and turn your work. We are now on the right side. We're going to begin by single crocheting 2 in the color white. And we're going to switch to our red yarn once more, pulling that in nice and tight and squeezing the white yarn down. And we're actually going to do 11 single crochets in the color red all the way down, and this is going to be our first solid row of red. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 6 is going to be in that white stitch. And I wound up pulling it a little bit because I wanted the single crochet to be perfectly centered. So you'll see me fidgeting with that a little bit as I go through this row, just to make sure that my heart is nice and centered. And that is number 11. Awesome. All right, and once again, we're going to draw up our white yarn and do a slip stitch and tighten that red yarn. And we're going to finish it off by doing 2 more single crochets. And there we go. Chain 1 and turn your work. All right, let's go ahead back with 2 more single crochets. And we're going to repeat what we just did. We're going to be doing 11 single crochets all the way across in the color red. So let's swap out our color, tighten that white down, and let's work 11 all the way across. And we just do the same thing by changing to our white, and we're going to finish off with 2 single crochets. And go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Alright, let's do it again. We're going to do 3 single crochets this time in the color white. We're now going to start decreasing the heart. Let's switch to our red finish. Tighten up that white yarn. And we're going to do 9 single crochets all the way across. Awesome. And we are going to switch back to our white color, and we're going to do 3 single crochets in the white. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. We're going to start decreasing it again. This time we're going to do 4 single crochets in white. And change to your color red. Make sure to tighten your string to keep a nice tension. And we're going to single crochet 7 all the way across. Whoopsies. Awesome, and we're going to switch to our white color one more time. Draw that through and make your tension nice and tight. And we're going to do 4 more in white to finish off our row. And chain 1, turn your work. It should start to actually look like a heart now. Alright, and for our next row, we're going to keep doing these where we increase our white. So we're going to do 5 this time. And now let's switch to our red finish, tighten the white string, and let's do 5 across in red. Awesome. We're going to pick up our white and do the same 5 white single crochets across. Alright, chain 1 and turn our work once more. Alright, we are now going to do 6 single crochets in white.
And let's switch to our red color, and we're gonna do 3 single crochets. We're getting towards the bottom now. Alright, and we're gonna do 6 single crochets in white next. And with that being our last one, chain a single chain and turn your work. We're almost done, guys. It's so exciting. All right, and now we're gonna do 7 single crochets in white. And switch to your red. We are just doing 1 single crochet in the middle of the 3 red that was from the previous row. Switch back to white, and let's finish it off by doing 7 single crochets in white all the way to the end. Wonderful. So we chain 1 and we can turn our work, and your heart is officially done, but we're gonna go ahead and extend the white. So just continue doing 15 single crochets back and forth until you have 4 more rows additional to this row. In your final row count, it should be 17, but another reference is to have 3 rows of white in between each heart. By the time you complete all of your rows, this is how it should look for your spacing in between this heart and beginning the next heart. We're going to start our next heart. I'm just going to get you guys started since it is following the same pattern. We're going to do 3 single crochets in white, just like the first row that we did for the heart. Let's swap to our red yarn. We're just picking it up from the previous heart and drawing it up. Make sure to leave a little bit of slack though. Tighten that down with the white string and do 3 single crochets in your red color. Alright, and we are going to swap back to our white color and do 3 more across. Let's swap back to our red, and we're going to do 3 single crochets in red. And let's swap to our white one more time and do 3 in white. Alright, and don't forget to chain 1. Keep repeating that same pattern that we were doing with the grid, or you can go back and look at the pattern that we've done in the video together. I ended up doing 4 hearts, and that was the circumference of my head, and I love it at this length. I went ahead and did just one of the examples of what the connection is going to look like, but of course we're going to walk through it right now. So go ahead and do a slip knot of your white yarn, and I'm going to show you as if I was starting on the other side, but if you're already connected with your yarn, just go ahead and continue with that. Alright, so we are going to pick up this stitch, or if you're already connected to your yarn from your previous row, stay connected. We're going to do 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do a decrease stitch in the next 2 stitches. So that means you're going to pull up your yarn, and then you're going to insert into the next hook as well and pull up your yarn again, and you're going to pull through all 3 of those loops. You just made a decrease. And then you're going to go all the way across to the other side until there's 3 single crochets remaining. So stop when you have 3 single crochets before your row ends. Alright, so when you have 3 stitches remaining, you're going to go ahead and do another decrease. So you're going to go ahead by inserting into that 3rd stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch and pull up another loop, and pull through all the remaining 3 loops. And then just a regular single crochet into that last stitch there, and chain 1 and turn your work. We're going to be repeating this pattern essentially the entire way until we have only 3 stitches remaining. So we're going to just go and do the first single crochet, and then another decrease, pull up your loop, insert into the next, pull up a loop, and pull through all. Crochet all the way across until you can do the same with the remaining last 3 stitches. With the last 3 again, you're going to insert, pull up 1, insert again, pull up another, and decrease by pulling through all 3. And 1 more single crochet, chain 1, and turn your work once more. Go ahead and repeat the same pattern by chaining 1, and then doing a single decrease, single crochet across until you have 3 left, now do your decrease once more, and 1 single crochet, chain 1 and turn your work. One single crochet into the next stitch, 1 more decrease, and single crochet across until you have 3 left. It should only be a few stitches here. go ahead and decrease and do 1 single crochet, chain 1, and turn your work. Repeat the same strategy here, chain single crochet 1, another decrease, and we are actually going to immediately do another decrease because we only had 6 left in that row. So to make sense of that row, it's 1 single crochet, 2 decreases, and 1 single crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. At this point, you should have 4 single crochets left in this row. And what we're going to do is single crochet 1, and we're going to do a decrease, and then in the last stitch we're going to do 1 single crochet. This will be the last of your decrease rows, so make sure you chain 1. And from this point on, what we're going to do is just 3 single crochets into these 3 stitches, chain 1, and just keep turning back and forth until you reach your desired length. For me, I do about 17 to 20 rows, and that gives me tons of room to be able to tie it in a nice and cute bow. So just continue going back and forth until you have the desired length. At this point, I'm completing my final row of 3. And once you reach your final desired length, just remember to chain 1 once you're done, and get your darning scissors and go ahead and snip it right off and pull that through. Tighten it down quite a lot, make sure that knot is super secure, and then if you haven't already done the other side, just be sure to pick it up and finish that row out like I had done prior, and you should have a result that looks similar to this. The last thing that we need to do though is just weaving in those pesky little ends, which luckily, because we picked up and carried the work all throughout, it should be pretty even, and it should be pretty small of amount of ends that we need to sew in. So I just use kind of like a medium size needle, and we're just gonna go back and forth and make sure that you're getting it into the red yarn just so it's not showing through on the white. Just make sure all of your ends are nice and secure, and you will have your finished headband. It is adorable and perfect for Valentine's Day. I can't wait to wear it, and I've already been obsessed with wearing it to school and work. But thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!